Here's Mike Tomlin, who met with reporters on Monday for his usual weekly midweek press conference. It's Tuesday when they play on Sunday. It's Monday when they play on Saturday. You'll see them Saturday on NBC and Peacock. Coverage begins at 3 o'clock Eastern. He specifically came back on Wednesday to address George Pickens, who spoke on Tuesday. Here's a little of Pickens, and here's a little of Tomlin, and then we'll break it all down on the back end.
Remember at the end of last year, you said you worked hard to overcome whatever these preconceived notions were about you coming out. You feel you still have to do that? Are you still fighting that?
I just feel like the reason I would be, like you're saying, would be still fighting it, because it's a lot of guys that's not playing the ball, not playing the game of football. That's just media guys having an opinion.
George is a talented guy, but he's growing in a lot of ways in regards to football and life. He is very much a work in progress, and so it is continual. It's not going to be one incident or one meeting or one form of discipline that's going to institute the type of change that we're hunting, to be quite honest with you. It is going to be continual. I would like him to be more professional in terms of addressing some of his shortcomings with you guys to further add fluidity to the process. He's not helping himself. He's not helping the process in the manner in which he's dealt with you guys. But the manner in which he deals with you guys is not necessarily the manner in which he deals with us or himself regarding acknowledging where he is and where he needs to go.
Is there any form of discipline that will be handed out there?
Not that I'm going to discuss with you guys. And part of it is education, and I want him to understand that as well. When you're winning and doing your jobs, man, a lot of the attention and so forth is on things such as that. When you're not doing your job and losing, you better keep your damn mouth shut and understand that tracks a certain type of attention as well. And usually that's vulture-like attention.
Mike Tomlin, as I've said multiple times, has already failed in this regard because it became an issue. What he's been able to do as the head coach of the Steelers since 2007 has been impressive to those in the business, because what happens is, and this isn't Antonio Brown, there have been other players who have been with the Steelers and they go somewhere else, and the coach of the other team is like, how in the hell did Tomlin keep this guy under control for as long as he did? How did Tomlin not just witness this guy completely implode? Tomlin has been able, until now, to keep guys from getting to this point where it becomes a distraction. This is taking away from the preparation for the game against the Bengals on Saturday. Every minute Tomlin has to spend dealing with the media, dealing with Pickens, dealing with Art Rooney, dealing with whoever about what we're going to do about George Pickens takes away from what they need to do. And Chris, in the past, Tomlin has been able, we talked about this yesterday, he's been able to push the buttons and keep something from becoming a thing. He's failed to keep, and this goes all the way back to the Titans game, the Thursday night game. That was the first glimpse of it. And this is on, I'm not saying it's on Tomlin, because I guess you're not going to bat 1,000 in that regard, but on this one, it's a strikeout. On the other one's home run. On this one, it's a strikeout for Mike Tomlin, because he wasn't able to get through to George Pickens and keep him from having the kinds of manifestations we've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, he's a master at doing this, really, Mike Tomlin, throughout his career. I mean, you're saying it, right? Coaches, media people, whatever, yeah, they've had some strong personalities there in Pittsburgh over the years. He's handled it, with greatness as far as these personalities, these renegades, defensive and offensive side of the ball, right? I mean, he even had a quarterback that was a guy that kind of spouted off more than normal quarterbacks, and Big Ben Roethlisberger, and certainly would say things to the media that, I don't think you would see other great quarterbacks of his, in his stratosphere, like a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady even say. So he's had to deal with some personalities. There's no doubt about that, right? And unfortunately with this one, I think a little of it goes into the fact that, yeah, the offensive coordinator, the guy he did hire, Matt Canada, was a disaster and didn't work out well. And then, of course, that filtered into the offense not being good. And receivers are, again, I'm not judging or whatever else, but receivers are usually the greatest athletes in the locker room. And as we've talked about a million times, they're the guys that think they can change the game on one play. And those are the guys that are also the most diva-ish within the locker room. And they will complain and, at times throw a hissy fit if they don't get the ball enough, right? Because they've been used to their whole life, you give me the ball, we win. So that's where those frustrations have boiled over, and he has not been able to control either one of these receivers for the most part. We'll see. But, the fact that Mike Tomlin has to have looks like an extra press conference to address George Pickens, that's not a good thing for George Pickens. It's not a good look. Another one of these extra press conferences or two, you're going to all of a sudden they're going to be like, damn, we don't want to even talk about this guy at all anymore. Let's get him the hell out of here. I mean, that's where he's got to watch out. And then you have a reputation around the league, and all of a sudden, people are not sure about you. And then you make one mistake somewhere else, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this guy's crazy. We don't want him anywhere. So that's where George Pickens needs to, be careful. And he got to stop that, blaming the media and people who didn't play talk. Stop it. Your head coach just said you're a work in progress. Your head coach said they're trying to message you because they're hunting for change. He said we talk about his shortcomings, right, and not doing his job. And it's filtered into other people in the locker room also talking about not doing his job. So he can't use that BS talk about media and people that aren't playing the game don't know what they're talking about. No, there's plenty of that do know what they're talking about. I know he's frustrated, but he shouldn't say stuff like that. That's a non-winning argument.
The latest criticism of George Pickens traces to the obvious failure of him to exhibit effort when he had an opportunity to block for running back Jaylen Warren near the goal line against the Colts on Saturday. This is what Pickens said on Tuesday. We talked about it yesterday. He was trying to prevent an injury. He doesn't want to get hurt. When you stay on the block too low, you can get ran up on very easily. Here's what Jaylen Warren had to say yesterday.
This is big.
About Pickens' explanation.
This says
it
all,
where he's coming
Mike.
from. It is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he was doing what he thought was best for him. Some people play the game differently. If I was in that position, I would have blocked for him. But we play differently.
Boom. 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 Those are shots fired in a locker room. So George Pickens, you can say all you want about all this stuff. The people in the locker room are talking about you behind your back, going, damn, that's BS that George Pickens did
or
that.
to your face.
Or to your face,
Or
apparently.
to your face.
Right. Yeah, Jaylen Warren's going, wait, I didn't go to Georgia. I'm not a high-round pick. I only know pedal to the metal, play as hard as I can, do what the coach told me to do, and do my job to the utmost. And he's going, it's George Pickens, second-round pick, went to Georgia. He's always had the red carpet out for him. And that's basically what he's saying there a little bit. So, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look. And, it's rare, like you're saying, that we've seen this happen twice in the same year, basically, with receivers from Pittsburgh. And, it's unlike, like you said, a Mike Tomlin coach football team.
This is the same guy who built his name last year on putting guys on their ass.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so stunning that George Pickens is playing this way. Here's the question that was presented to me yesterday by the guys on 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. What's the most likely outcome for next year? Just your hunch, just a guess. We're not reporting anything. We're just having some fun here. Tomlin and Pickens both with the Steelers. Tomlin and Pickens both gone from the Steelers. Tomlin stays, Pickens gone. Tomlin's gone, Pickens stays. What's the most likely outcome?
I feel like it's Tomlin goes and Pickens stays.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't know why. I don't think Mike Tomlin deserves to be fired or anything like that. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe the time has come. It's coming to an end, to part ways, refresh, a refresh button for both sides. And I think with the fact that there's some jobs out there that certainly would call for Mike Tomlin's ability to rally the organization, yeah, I'm going to take that guess right there right now. So I think we're in that one together.
I think somebody's going to call. I think this is someone is going to save the Steelers from having to even think about doing what they never want to do. They're never going to have to make the change because someone's going to call and initiate a conversation and there's going to be an offer made, and the Steelers are eventually going to take it, and Mike Tomlin goes to a new team. I feel like that's where this is heading. So Pickens still under contract for 2 more years. New coach is going to think, I'm going to try my hand here with George Pickens. Maybe they hire an offensive coach. They haven't the last 3, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. But maybe they go offensive, and maybe the new coach thinks, I can get through to him. I can get more out of him. I'll have an offense that actually, puts the football in his hands from time to time, so maybe he's not frustrated. I mean, it's one thing for him to be a little selfless and not have the ball in his hands all the time. It's another thing for him to never get the ball and for us to do nothing to let him show what he can do. I can try to get through to him. I can try to fix him. So I agree with you. Tomlin gone. Pickens stays. We're not reporting anything. We're just reading the tea leaves or between the tea leaves.
That's right. Next level.
All right. That's right. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.